down. One thing playing on our minds. Long wait, but we won't give up now. You crave the love I gave, and we'll do it again. A cold night getting warmer now. The ground shakes as our love gets loud. We are the champions of the night. We are the champions of the night. Yeah. We are the fighting tide, the ones that burn so bright. We are the champions of the night. Tell if we're dreaming now. We watch as the vibe falls down. One thing playing on our minds. Time stops and we don't make a sound. You crave the love I gave, and we'll do it again. A cold night getting warmer now. The ground shakes as our love gets loud. We are the champions of the night. We are the champions of the night. Yeah. We are the fighting tide, the ones that burn so bright. We are the champions of the night.
Alrighty, folks. Welcome and good evening to a cast of the quarterfinals of the Chobo Team League. This is Season 9 quarterfinals. I am TB Ham. With me is Stark. He looks just so relaxed over there in England. How are you doing tonight?
It's 1 a.m., so it's time to relax. Am I right?
That's something. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm right there with you in terms of where my brain is. Getting beta was not good for my sleep. So
First
I
world
gotta,
problems, am I right?
yeah, first world problems, right? Right. That's the humble brag of I got beta. Yeah, what can I say?
Get wrecked, everyone.
I listened to the sweet dulcet tones of Sinistar telling me to come play Archon with him, and I did for about 5 hours last night. Anyway, we are going to be casting. It's going to be CTL Team 6 versus the Paragons of Perfection. This is going to be a best of 9 Pro League setup matchup here, team matchup. See if I get my brain to work trying to think of things to introduce this. This is for the Chobo Team League. If you are unaware of it, it is a bronze through diamond team league. So obviously skill caps out at diamond. The sets are, you can see those over on the right. Is that actually correct? Yeah, the right there. We're starting off with a plat, then into a gold, and another plat, diamond, gold, plat, diamond, gold, and then finally a diamond. All of these are best of ones except for the final series, final set 9 is a best of 3 series within itself. That is the ace match. So if it comes down to that, that will mean it's actually an ace match. But it's gonna be a matter of time before we see that. But we are gonna go ahead and get into our first game here, which is gonna be that plat versus plat, a PVZ on Catalina. Words, man.
I think your words pretty good there, mate. I'll be honest. Top 3 words control given the circumstances.
Yeah,
But it's alright, we've only got, 3 hours to go? Why did I sign up for this? I don't know. You willingly did this, I willingly did this.
Hey,
what is
when I
wrong with
messaged you,
us?
that was kind of my subtle, are you sure? This is going to take a while. I don't think there's actually not any walkovers in this series either, so not going to get that free momentary nothingness. But we are into our first game and spawning up here in the top from CTL Team 6. It is a German player. It's our Zerg in red. It's Mara.
Coin flipped incorrectly with his overlords. That is unfortunate. To the bottom right of Catalina as the blue Protoss for, are we calling them Para-Op? Is that what we call them? I don't know. It's Start. It's a Protoss player.
I just realized my sound is on the wrong speakers. There we go. They can actually hear things coming from the game and not just through my microphone. That might be a little bit more helpful. Yeah, Para OP. I don't know. I don't know. I abbreviate it to that. I'm not sure why I do, but I do. Other than that, Paragons of Perfection. That's their full team name there, with quite possibly the smallest logo in game of any team in the CTL. I'm not sure how or why that happened, but maybe I'll fix that now that I see that happen.
That is,
That's absurd.
it's a logo for ants.
Yes. It's not exactly the highest quality logo in the first place, because, well, I got it from Twitter, and it was a JPEG, and it's 2015, and if it's a JPEG in 2015, it probably means that it was a JPEG back in 2000, so it's been compressed.
It does look like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But this matchup here should be an interesting one. I think both of these players are kind of at the top of the rankings for the respective league, for the Plat League, for the CTL this season at least. Mara, I think he's 5-0 or 6-0, one of the two, in the regular season. So very, very good Zerg player. And then Start also, I think he only played maybe 2 or 3. What? Oh, he's 5-0. Start only played 2 or 3 games, but I'm pretty sure he did win every single game he played. So he's obviously a very good player. He just came a little bit later to the party, at least. So let's see what he decides to do.
Yeah, opting for the 6 lings actually to stop his hatch first from being or pull into hatch rather from being cannon rush. But there's no shenanigans afoot, so maybe a little overcommittal on these lings. But it is nice to be playing on the safer side in these best of ones, because You can get people who are crazy and decide to double proxy gate. You can rush you, six pull you. It's nice to be safe, and he's actually splitting these things up very nicely, looking for that probe. Good
Yeah,
excuse.
should find it, I think. Yeah, he at least sees it. It does pop up briefly. I'm not sure if Mara would have had to been paying attention. I think he realized that he saw a blip on his screen. Now he's gonna go search for it, but he's gonna miss it once again. But he does have four lings on the other side of the map, and there is a zealot here, but the zealot has to stay up top lest he lets the lings come in. But no, he's gonna get brave and go for this, I guess. But good positioning, good micro by start at least. He does kill one and even saves the probe, so well done by him so far.
Yeah, actually a little bit late on the gas for the mothership core here. That would have been nice to have out just to help shoo those lings away, but I mean, I guess that's okay. He's still alive. The six lings didn't get that much damage done. Just being a nuisance for the most part. And we do see that Mara back at home has opted for his own gas geyser, so he'll be grabbing that Zergling speed before the third base likely. But we could see some shenanigans as well, like Roach speedling timing or something like that.
Yeah, and it's always a possibility. I mean, it's a very popular build, especially in leagues of this caliber. Not that these players are bad necessarily, but it's a really strong timing, and it's something that's kind of easy to grasp. And there we see a Roach Warren already, so I would not be surprised to see that coming. Depends on how many more drones Mara makes, and maybe if he's going for that. Well, it's a build that you wrote down on the build that Gosu user. Roach Ling speeding attack. It's
I know.
really difficult to hold, but I mean, there's still more drones coming out from Mara, so I'm not sure if that's exactly what he's going to be going for.
Yeah, that build is ancient as well. I'm surprised with its staying power. Wow. So yeah, he will be needing a few overlords to do anything actually coming up, as he is supply blocked to 44 off 44. So likely that any Roach timing he makes won't be particularly strong, but this is a good opportunity to go ahead and take a third base if he so desires. Meanwhile, back in start space, we do have not much. I mean, I was looking for something, but there's just the Forge with the +1, so I guess it's just going to be like a fast gateway timing.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, +1 can be very powerful, especially with a decent amount of sentries and just zealots, especially if Mara is looking to take a quick third base. Well, not really quick. We're 7 minutes in, and it's not down yet, so that's not quick by any means. But, you know, a lot of gateways coming in at once could be extremely scary for Mara to deal with. We do have two more coming up in the main base to join the two that are already out, so a quick 4-gate here from start, either to take his own third nexus or just get across the map a little bit, be a little bit aggressive. But to do so, he will have to actually take his mothership core and take all of his sentries, which can be extremely dangerous. And yeah, Mar has seen everything. These overlords, slow as they may be, sentries take a longer time to kill them.
Yeah, I don't think Mara's particularly afraid of what he sees, to be honest. I mean, he's seen late gases, he's seen a forge at the front, he has seen a total of 4 gateways. He did miss the 5th one there. And did he see the robo? No, that's being built in the natural. So, at the worst case scenario, it's something proxied out on the map, but it doesn't look particularly threatening so far from Mara's point of view. So he's not panicking really. He's got a nice drone count. He's taking a later third base and securing it with roaches and hydras. So he's prepared for any kind of pressure that comes.
Oh, indeed he is. I mean, he's got the hydrogen on the way, as you said, I think. And this third base coming up, I mean, a little bit later than maybe he wanted to take it, but just playing so very safe right now. As you alluded to earlier, in these best of ones, if you don't play safe, you're very liable to just get run over. And losing a game like that can feel absolutely terrible, especially when every single set counts so heavily, especially at this stage. I mean, this is an elimination round. You're not going to actually, you're not going to move on from here if you lose. This is going to be the end of your season if you lose this set or lose this series. So I'm sure that every single person that's playing this week for any of the 8 teams that we're playing played relatively safe to an extent. I say that with a laugh kind of going on because, well, I know how Canary played the very last match of the week against Houseblood there, so that wasn't exactly safe, but it was something.
I think it was safe. It's safe in that he was aggressive and he played to his strengths. If he tried to play normally safe, it would not be safe because he doesn't know how to play that safe, we're getting into like some serious level Nostradamus type Greek philosopher words here, and that's not now's not the time for this, really.
No, it's not.
No.
Uh, I'm really interested what Stark's going to be doing with this push here. He's definitely threatening with all the units he has out on the map, but back home he's got a third Nexus on the way, and he has this War Prism on the other side of the map. So he may just be wanting to pull his opponent into different directions, and if he's able to just force field off a good chunk of this army, it's going to do a ton of damage. But at the same time, he's warping in 4 Zealots over at the third base, which are going to be running in, but there's not really too much here for them to grab. Looking like, well, he's going to just go for the hatchery itself. Okay, there he goes, focus on the queen instead. So 1 queen kill there for those 4 Zealots. That's decent enough at this point.
Yeah, it's annoying, and it. Oh, we have an engagement here in the middle of the map, and the recall is forced. So yeah, Stark just decided, nope, I've got to go straight home. I can't handle that force, and he's right, to be honest. That's roaches and hydras. They don't have any upgrades to speak of, apart from, I believe, just speed upgrades and the range upgrade for the hydras as well. So pretty sizable army supply here for Mara, and Start is going to have to force field this ramp well, but he does miss the second force field there, or the first one rather, but he has enough sentries to make up for it, so he'll be able to defend this relatively easily, I think.
Yeah, eight sentries, they're all still alive. A couple of them were very low health. Actually, now he's actually missing a lot of force fields. He lets up a lot of this army here for Mara. I mean, behind us, Mara is making absolutely nothing but units. So he's just kind of continually trying to rally, but now we see the force fields from Start are definitely doing a lot of work, sandwiching those units apart from each other. And well, despite this, there's nothing to speak of in robo units out in the field right now, and even the robo facility is unpowered at the moment. So that push did do a lot of damage. How many sentries? 7 sentries went down. So that is a lot of gas for a Protoss player who is really not taking his third base yet.
That is a huge amount of gas. That's 3 Colossus and a bit more that's not going to be out on the field anytime soon. So Mara's feeling pretty content that that push did a lot of damage, and he is still rallying roaches and hydras across the map. He is grabbing +1 for these guys, but not feeling the need to wait for it. Just going to keep trading away from his, what he would assume to be a superior economy. Has he even seen that there's a third base up? I would assume not. Oh no, he has a Changeling and an Overseer, so okay. I guess he's just pressuring into the natural, thinking he could get the kill.
So it's a possibility. Now, we do have Colossus on the way now, and this Warp Person has been a little bit annoying. It warped in a few Zealots into the main base, which were killed off. Mara, I think just the reinforcements that he was making ended up dealing with any sort of the Zealot harassment that was coming out of Start. But, you know, Start kept the Warp Person alive, which is really, really nice. Oftentimes you'll see a player walk in with a Warp Prism, warp a bunch of units, and just forget about the Warp Prism, and lose that potential for such a long period of the game. Start now, he does have a Colossus out, which is nice, but still, there's only a single Colossus and a single Immortal, so not a lot of units out right now. And speaking of this Warp Prism, it's back in the main base, and that's a lot of Zealots.
That is a huge amount of Zealots, but, I mean, his entire army is here to greet this, so that is the last thing you really want to see from Start's position, so that gets completely shut down. The donation is collected by the 1A of Mara there. And we actually have a Spire transition coming out from Mara, so that could be either going into Corruptors or Mutors. Either works in this scenario. I would imagine it's probably going to be for a few Corruptors just to pick off the Colossus and then keep rallying the roaches and hydras across. Actually, you wouldn't even have enough supply for it at this rate.
Yeah, he's getting close to being maxed out at this point, which is really, really nice for him. But as you said, that Spire transition, he could just be saving up, maybe just wanting to go to Mutas eventually. But his gas count is just so low at the moment because he has been producing so much in terms of his own army. And there's a lot of hydras in this army as well, and he's got 15 currently. Combined with the 14 he's already lost, that's a ton of gas that he's already been using. So maybe trying to switch to Mutas isn't going to work for him. And there we go, 6 Corruptors coming out. Just wants to help out in dealing with those Colossus, and you know, eventually, if he wants to go and switch into Mutas, he's got that opportunity available to him. So just a nice basic setup from R right now.
He cancels for the 204 supply. Oh, that is
cool.
Nice. That is cool. I haven't pulled that trick in a while. We see that in Pro League even sometimes. This is a really cool thing to do. when you have the time to do it. It's a bit fiddly just to get a large oversupply, but yeah, that is sweet. So we're gonna have an engagement sometime soon, because the thing about this army from Mara is it's really cool that he got maxed pretty fast, but it loses its value over time because as the Protoss approaches max, they're gonna have the superior army composition. So Mara's gotta start using this army.
Yeah, speaking of using this army a little bit, he's going to go pick off the War Prism up here with those Corruptors, so that's nice for him. Both players have been kind of lacking in their upgrades for a pretty long time in this game. I mean, the Zerg player is still only on +1 ranged attack, no canvas upgrades to speak of. Meanwhile, the Protoss is only on +1 attack right now, but his +2 attack is just about to finish up. So he will have that going for him, but still, it's a very, very low upgrade game right now. And actually, Corruptors being a little bit brave there, getting out in the middle of nowhere. And the Stalkers, they do have Blink, so they could have hopped on top of that. But oh, they're going to, which is, well, I'm not sure about that, because Mara's army is going to surround pretty much everything here. Corruptors are trying to be focused down by some of these Stalkers, actually microing into the entire army of Mara is our Protoss player, and he's just going to lose absolutely everything. And his remax potential is not even close to the potential that our Zerg player has. I mean, Mara is already maxed again, starts at 115 supply. That's not great.
I mean, Stark does have 4 bases and 10 gateways and a robo, so he can reproduce quite quickly, but it's nowhere near as fast as the Zerg, who are already maxed out. There's only 1 Colossus here, and I think Mara might have to pull back for the Corruptors at least, but they're already here, so that Colossus is going to get popped in a couple of volleys. And there's only Blink Stalkers remaining now for start, and even if he spent his bank, he'd be warping in, 12 Stalkers, and there he goes, spending his bank, and meanwhile Mara has around another, 50 or so Roaches in his bank, so this pressure isn't going away anytime soon.
Yeah, the Roaches are going to swing into the 3rd base, and he can even just split up half of his army, and half of his army is still probably going to be more powerful than the entire army of Start. He's going to pick off the 3rd Nexus. There is this 4th Nexus up, which is nice, but so many probes getting absolutely slaughtered right now. 20 probes just died right there, and the Corruptors are even spreading their goo on some of those Stalkers, letting this Roach Hydra force take those out pretty easily. And Mara looking pretty strong right now, 200 supply to 83. I'm not really sure what Start's going to be able to do against this, and probably just a matter of time. And speaking of, there it is, GG from Start, and we will get the 1-0 lead here for CT6 here in this best of 9 series.
Nice play there by both players, I think. Pretty solid. There was a few times where I think Start took a couple of engagements that are a little bit questionable. That second push, I really would have liked to have seen a recall there, but I don't think he even had a mothership core at the time.
No, I think he left it at home. Maybe. Because he had an overcharge available later on. When that army got back to his base, he overcharged. So I think he just forgot to bring it with him.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So he wasn't quite able to actually, well, not just lose everything all at once, which kind of sucks.
So we will be going into set 2 now, which will be... Oh, it's Baby Puncher. These are always entertaining games.
Yes, they are. You gotta admit. It's one of the things that watching the Legacy of the Void beta, watching streamers who are actually good play it, it's really interesting to watch, just simply because everything is being made up as they go. They're figuring things out. Everything is just ridiculous, and it works sometimes. And players who aren't necessarily great are going to win games. I just watched Jack Attack beat Sake, so these things kind of happen. In a stage of a what am I thinking of? In the stage of the time lifespan of the expansion, that's what's going to happen. But we are pretty deep in the heart of the swarm. But our player spawning here in the right side of Secret Spring, she's pretty well known, and her husband as well, for figuring out some interesting builds. And she is Baby Puncher.
I get the impression that Vespasian and Baby Puncher, they've been playing Legacy for like around a year now with how many crazy builds they come up with, and some of them work, some of them don't work, some of them work amazingly, some of them flop horrendously, but it's always going to be an entertaining game whenever you queue up against one of these players to watch, and whenever you play against one of them, even if you think you know what's going to happen, you don't really know what's going to happen. So it's hopefully for the sake of this Green Terran Imperator DDL on the left side of Secret Spring, hopefully he has done his homework. And
Yeah,
he is checking the back of his base for the Canary Barracks, so...
Yeah, that's definitely the... Oh, what's this?
Oh,
What's...
never mind. He's got his own... Oh, never mind. Oh, no, he doesn't have plans. Oh, here we go. Alright,
Well, that's
sick.
interesting. Is he just shouting, or... Well, the other thing is, Baby Puncher's going to see this. Sees one SCV. Is this... Is he going to
This
make
might just be... He might have done his research and is looking everywhere for the barracks. That might be what's happening.
Huh. That's a possibility, but I think he's going to make something over here. I think he's going to make another barracks. There we go. Yeah, second barracks coming down. Is there any gas? There's no gas right now.
Is this going to be a third barracks there? There's another SCV here.
Oh, okay.
Is he just going to do the make Marines and go builds?
I guess
I mean,
so.
that's a build.
Yeah, I gotta say, you gotta think he's gonna be floating these barracks down, right? There's no way they're gonna walk all the way around this gold area. Yeah, he's just gonna float these down to the lower ground underneath here. Just make a ton of Marines, and you know when you're playing somebody who themselves does some cheeky things, doing it back at them, because a lot of times these interesting builds that come out of Baby Puncher come out of Vespasian. They don't have a lot of early defense. They rely on teching heavily, really quickly. When you do that, you're not going to have a lot to defend. But Baby Puncher, I mean, she realizes. She saw what she saw. She saw an SCV moving out in a really weird location, and she got a bunker back home.
Yeah, I think she's going to be well prepared for this. I wonder what Imperator's follow-up is going to be to this. Yeah, he's flying the barracks down. What a boss. I haven't seen this yet in Secret Spring, probably because we don't see Secret Spring. So, wow, this is so cool. Would you just then take the gold base here as well? Because why not?
I mean, I guess. I don't see why not. Well, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. You have to do damage with this, or you're going to be so far behind. I mean, the factory is already coming up for Baby Puncher, but again, all she's going to have 4 Marines, but she's got that bunker. And I think by the time a good enough Marine count gets over here from Imperator, I don't know. It's gonna be really difficult for him actually to punch through this, especially if Widow Mines are gonna be the initial response here from Baby Puncher, which they are. So Widow Mines fare pretty well against Widow Mines fare pretty well against straight Marines, to say the least.
Yeah, I like that she's not taking that second gas and teching too heavily, because if you tech too heavily, then
that's what this is. This is a really old build. You see the supply call down even. In pulling all the SCVs, this is just 3 barracks, pull SCVs, drop some mules for more production, and just go. I used to do this all the time back in Wings of Liberty. And I think I've done it in a CTL game before. And actually, one of the players coming up, their Para OP's Ace, I think I did it against him once, actually. I'm almost 100% positive I've done it against him. So this is really interesting. But these Widow Mines, I mean, granted, they're not going to one-shot SCVs, but good lord, the damage.
The SCVs get shattered. I mean, Imperator might be able to break through this bunker. No. That's it. That's game.
Oh, the Widow Mine. The Widow Mine only has 1 kill, but good lord, that is the MVP.
The unit loss tab is disgusting. I don't think you can even show that without putting like an 18+ rating on this stream.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's why this build doesn't work anymore, for one.
Oh no.
So now we have 14 SCVs to 1, about to get 2.
But mules, alright?
Mules
are good units.
Here's the
Sadly,
problem,
Baby Puncher also has mules. Oh no.
Well, is this going to be a Banshee even? I think she's even going for a Banshee. And do you really think there's going to be a detection out in the next 15 minutes for Imperator?
I mean, it could even be a battle cruiser than Baby Puncher. She's done that one in the past.
There's already 4 Marines walking over right now.
And there's already 4 Marines landing there as well.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say, landing.
Oh.
Well, there's 4 Marines here for Imperator, so he could fight with SCVs and have a better count, but early medevacs are very good.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the supplies, it is 9 supply versus 34. There is 1 SCV 2 SCVs now. He doubled his work account in the past 5 seconds. That is some high level play, being able to do that.
I,
I'm trying to
Yeah.
be positive here.
yeah, you gotta assume Baby Puncher does not realize how many SCVs she killed. Because she's still sitting in her base. She's even got a tank sieged up back home. You got the double Widow Mine sitting back here. Could just walk across the map, take half of her SCVs, and still be ahead.
Alright, let's get the backstory here.
I presume this has been in Imperator's match history, which, yeah, a lot of players in CTL, they don't realize that players do their playing, especially like someone who's been around in the league for a long time, like Baby Puncher, like anybody on CT6. They've been around for a long time. They know how to scout players. So if you've been doing this on ladder or doing it in customs and you're not hiding it, yeah, it's gonna be slow.
Yeah. We mean out of game scouting, like looking at the match histories. We don't mean sending an SCV across the maps, so you really have to do research on your players. And if Imperator hasn't hidden this build, then Baby Puncher, she'll know about it, and she apparently does, and she's just going to see the tank up here and say, "Sup? What are you going to do about it?"
You've been picking up
Even
the
an
Widow
SCP.
Mine. Oh, the Widow Mine shot. Wow. Yeah, there it is. GG. So yeah, that happened. That's all I gotta say. That Widow Mine.
Yeah.
was
Imperator
quite the
lost 22 SCVs, 21 Marines. Baby Puncher lost 3 SCVs and 4 Marines.
Well, that's an old build. It's a lot. It was a lot of fun. 2-3 years ago, I did it against a lot of people, especially against Protoss. It was a great build to do against Protoss. It was a great build to do against Terran because you used to have to actually research siege mode. That's another thing. You
I mean,
didn't
it's
have any
still
AoE.
a pretty good build. I mean, Vanity did it against Doohickey in the
Oh,
old kill
really?
thing. Yeah, and he won. So it's still good. You just need to, I think, be able to hide it well, and that was not the case. As Baby Puncher had the pre-game knowledge of that might happen, which helps.
Yeah, it helps a lot. Especially, I mean, even if that was in her mind and then she saw that SCV, she had to have had no doubt when that SCV moved out so early. Especially the direction that it went, that northerly direction that it took, that was really, really awkward. So, yeah. Quick 2-0 here for CT6, so Para OP is down in the gutter a little bit, but we are going into our third set. It's going to be featuring, actually, the captain of CT6, so should be a good game to see if Para OP can bring it back, and their player to do it, spawning in the bottom left of Expedition Lost, our red Zerg player. It is Dirty,
What a name.
right?
And at the top right of Expedition Lost is the orange Protoss. It is Ray. One of those players who likes playing in their team colors, or maybe just likes orange.
Oh, is he? Oh, wait, no, he's playing against Zerg. I don't know why my brain just thought he was playing against a Terran player.
I mean, it's 1:30 in the morning. I can understand that.
Right? I was like, why is he bringing this probe out so early against a Terran player? Is he going to proxy 2 gate? And then I realized he's just
Playing
normally.
against us Zerg.
It's an interesting path on that probe, though. I mean, the way he sent that. I'm not sure if he's expecting a proxy hatch to the gold or something, but... Well, this probe isn't really doing anything. Is this going to be a cannon rush?
Some Zergs will actually take that gold base, but I'm not sure why he just ignored the gold base. You want to send the probe through the middle if you wanted to check the golds, but I think he might be planning a cannon rush here as, yeah... This drone is going to see a probe move out at the normal time if this probe decides to move out, but he's saying, hey look, I made a forge and then I've gone back. Look, you're safe. Quickly, hatch first. But Dirty's not fell for that.
Even without that, there's an overload sitting here at the natural for Dirty. So if Ray does try to pop in here with his probe, which he is trying to do now, it is going to be seen by Dirty. And when you look at the pathing on that probe, this is nothing but a cannon rush, but it's not hatch first. Dirty has seen the probe. He sees the probe. Currently, he still sees it. And without seeing that hatchery, I don't think there's any way Ray's going to commit to this. Well, as I say that, he moves 2 more probes down.
He wants to make sure that this drone doesn't make a base in his base, because some people will do that even when there's a forge first. I don't think it's ideal when there's a forge first, but he's still going to be obnoxious with this drone, but the Nexus does get thrown down by Ray, so... And with this third probe coming back, it looks like that we're going to have no cannon aggression. Actually opting for the cannon before the gateway here, so he's obviously afraid of some kind of fast lane pressure.
Yeah, I suppose Ray, whenever he got in and saw that it wasn't a hatch first, he realized that there's going to be some lings on the map pretty quickly, and the way that Ray opened with this forge, and I assume his intention was to cannon rush, and then going to the Nexus. He just wants to be nice and safe, and there are 6 lings walking across the map. So if he hadn't gone for this cannon right now, I mean, is this a full wall off already?
Yeah, that's a full wall.
Off. I guess he's going to break himself out, but Dirty's going to help him out. He's going to start picking away at the rocks already. So that's a problem. That could be a problem. That is the main feature of this map, which is extremely annoying to deal with as a Protoss player, or as any player versus Zerg. These rocks getting broken down, and then lings and roaches for days.
Or spine crawlers and queens. That's the other alternative. Just as a note, as we see, you can only attack this this lump of ice with 4 lings. So if you want to kill it, you just need to make the 4. I'd like to see Dirty send the other 2 around the map, seeing what's up, maybe finding this probe that's hidden in the bottom right corner suspiciously. That's a sneaky probe. Maybe a proxy probe.
Yeah, probably a proxy probe in that regard. The Cybercore is on the way, and considering the full wall off here from Ray, would be no surprise to see this probe start throwing down some pylons pretty soon. But Dirty does have a couple of lings on the map, probably just scouting around, just looking, making sure his third wasn't getting cannoned. I'm not sure if he knows exactly that there was a probe that moved out on the map, so he may know he needs to look for one. He may just be doing this as normal thought process. Ray is, he's pretty worried. He's worried enough about these back rocks. He has thrown in a cannon and an extra 2 pylons over here. So Ray is not going to be supply blocked for a good 6 or 7 minutes in this game. Already going up to 60 supply. Is this going to be? Yeah.
Yeah, he's very much so stunted his probe production and his gateway count to make that wall off there. So hopefully this pays off for him. I'm not sure what his follow-up plan is from here on out, but he's just going to need to chill out and build some probes for the next minute or so, I think, just to catch up and regain those minerals he lost building this secondary wall off.
Yeah, gateway research is still only a quarter of the way done. So any attack from Ray is still quite a ways off. He's at the point where he's not even making anything out of his gateways at the moment. Curious about this. Actually making another pylon, I assume, because he wants to be able to hide some tech, because everything right now is extremely easily scouted. I mean, there's an Overlord that's hovering over his natural mineral line that's seeing everything at the moment. If there were an Overlord actually over at this kind of where these 3 pylons are, it'd be able to get in and see everything pretty easily. But it's only going to be a couple more gateways, maybe another one, maybe a 4th gateway coming here in a moment once Ray actually has the money for it. Maybe not.
Yeah. I think that we will be seeing eventually a sizable gateway count, because the gas in the natural for Ray has been so delayed at this stage. I mean, he does have 500 gas, admittedly, but at this stage I think that's just going to be for the first walk-in round of sentries at this pylon down on the bottom right of the map. That would be my guess.
Yeah, with +1, being chroned out pretty heavily here. This still can be a really powerful attack from Ray. We kind of saw the same pseudo setup out of start in the first set when he was trying to make a lot of sentries and zealots and try to do something with that initially. And that's a lot more gateways coming up. That is 4 extra gateways. It's going to be 8 gates. Yeah. So that's a pretty hefty amount. So 8 gates here +1. It's a lot of gas Ray has, though. Not a lot of minerals.
Yeah, I mean, this attack would like to have been warping in probably 2 minutes ago, I would say. Maybe 90 seconds ago. That's the price that we pay for trying to cannon rush and then not being able to cannon rush and then having to wall off our ramp there. The gateways got delayed so heavily, and it allowed Dirty to reach... This is 3 mineral lines and 4 gas geyser saturation, which is arguably too many drones for this kind of... too many drones to defend this kind of an all-in, but because he's been given so much time he can get away with this, and he's just going to be pumping roaches and lings until he sees a third base.
Ray actually warped in 3 zealots back home to deal with a single ling. So that hurts his warp ins on the actual other side of the map a little bit. Now Ray's sitting on 200 minerals and almost 1,000 gas. He's walking into the third base with 9 zealots, which is really, really nice. He should be able to get some kills at least on the drone. He probably could snipe the third if he really, really wanted to, but a lot of lings walking in here, and there's already some roaches helping out at this third base as well for Dirty. And Ray, well, he's getting some damage done. He killed off some workers. He's going to kill a roach, at least a few maybe. Also with the Militia Corps here, more Stalkers coming in. This is still an extremely frightening attack coming from Ray right now.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was just going to recall home there with that attack and save his gas, but with the warp in of Stalkers aggressively, it looks like he just wants to keep the pressure up for as long as possible. He might actually be able to kill this third base, but it looks like he's just going to opt for the roach kills instead. Behind this, we do have a Twilight Council gone down and a Robo. So, where's the Twilight Council at actually? Was that cancelled? It was definitely in the production tab.
I think I made it cancel. I don't see anything back home other than the Robo, but now there's a lot of lings out here for Dirty. I mean, he just had so much production available. It's just a matter of time before he did it. Ray did catch him at a really, really nice time where he had been droning pretty heavily. Motion Core actually goes down there. So that's kind of sad for Ray once again. But he said back home he's trying to get this Robo up, but it may just be a little bit too late. Is this okay? That's actually a zealot here. Ray is on +1/+1, so that's nice. He does have some sentries out front. He's going to start picking away at this pylon up here, so he can actually get out of here on his own volition. Which will be nice. It's always nice to be able to escape your own bases, but it's always the price you pay for walling yourself in early. But it did pay dividends. I mean, this attack was completely blind to Dirty. He had no idea that was coming, and it did a lot more damage than maybe it could have if Dirty were able to scout out a little bit. Maybe he doesn't lose anything, but he did lose 10 workers there, and the Queen, and a good number of larva units. So,
yeah. But at the same time, Dirty still has 6 Queens and is pumping out another 10 drones, and is feeling comfortable enough to get 2/2 on his range and Aspire. So I think he dealt with that attack quite fine. I think that was a little bit too late of an attack by Ray, but Ray is going to opt for the If in Doubt Sentry Immortal All-In as a follow-up to my pressure, which is, I say that slightly sarcastically, but it's an incredibly strong thing to do. So he's going to be waiting for that second or maybe third Immortal, and then pushing out. He might actually be taking a third with this as well, but he's going to be met by a Ling. No, he is going to move out and build a pylon or something. Yeah, he is.
And I like how he's taking a different path to attack as well. The original attack came from the right side of the map, so obviously that's probably going to be on Dirty's mind. He's going to think, oh, I'm going to attack to get from this location, but Ray's like, no, I'm going to go the exact opposite location, especially with these back rocks, so that'll be really nice. But I mean, there's Overlords here, and actually a Ling is going to be a hero and see this coming, so now Dirty can just prepare everything.
Yeah, this side of the map is full of chokes, which this kind of an army absolutely adores having, and now that Ray has actually gone into this position, he's going to be needing a lot less force fields than compared to fighting on the other side of the map. So he'll be able to bust up here, but I think Dirty is going to have enough time to reposition.
Yeah, Dirty is repositioning his entire army. He did kind of chew away at the rocks that are over here a little bit. Looks like he's even setting up a bit of a flank. He's split up his army into 2, and if Ray isn't on point with his force fields, this could get pretty disastrous for him. It looks like he's just kind of baiting him out a little bit. All the Immortals are in the back here, and everything is rolling in from Dirty. He comes in a little awkwardly and actually gets force fielded out, so well done by Ray so far, but he's actually left all of his Zealots behind the force fields, so they're doing absolutely no damage. There's a lot of Queens up here, there's a lot of Roaches up here as well, and now the army is coming in from the back. That's no longer force fielded. A Guardian Shield goes down as well, trying to help Ray out as much as possible. Immortals are doing a lot of work over here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, these are 2/2 Roaches to consider, and Dirty has a lot of them. I think Ray could have maybe done a little bit better with the force fields there, allowing his Zealots to go to work, but even so, 2/2 Roaches are nothing to be scoffed at.
Oh, how do you even finish 2-2 at that point? That's pretty rough. That's really rough, in fact. So it was a good start of it. The start of that engagement was really, really nice for Ray. And just if he actually had those zealots chopping away at the roaches, that may have gone completely differently. But
Oh yeah, I think so because I know a 0-0 zealot will beat a 0-0 roach if the roach doesn't kite. So given 2-2 versus 1-1 and some favorable force fields, it's probably going to go in the roach's favor, but just barely. So it would have been a lot closer, I think, and that's ignoring the fact that there are immortals and stalkers warping in and the sentries with more force fields. So close fight, I think.
yeah. It was a well thought out game from Ray. He definitely had kind of different setup of plans that he wanted to do, starting with the possible cannon rush that he initially abandoned because that it wasn't a hatch first, then into that 8 gate, which did pretty well, but then the follow-up attack, it was a good positioning but not quite enough for him. So we are into our 4th set, which is going to be the first diamond matchup of the evening, and spawning up here in the top right from Paragons of Perfection in pink, it's our Zerg player, Cut Your Ribbon.
Interesting name. And to the bottom right of Inferno Pools, it is the best coloured Terran player, in the end, for CT6. Otherwise known as Yellow.
Otherwise known as Yellow, yes. That is the common name for Yellow is the best
The best colour.
right?
Yeah.
No,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's accurate. Okay.
No? Oh. Alright, then. Fine.
So, this is another fun juxtaposition of just linked players have been around. Indian has been around for a really, really long time. In terms of the CTL, at least, I think he's been around at least since season 2, maybe even. So he's been around for a long time, and I'm pretty sure Cut Your Ribbon joined the CTL in week 7. So he's not been here for long, but obviously at the diamond level, these players are very, very good in terms of this league. So. And this is an interesting map for TVZ, to say the least. And gotta say, these spawn positions, not the worst for either player, really. Could have been worse. I mean, if this was horizontal, it's really terrible for Terran. If it's
Yeah.
cross, it's
Cross is reasonable for Zerg. I don't know. As a Zerg player, if it's not cross, I'm feeling marginally to incredibly uncomfortable, depending on whether it's vertical or horizontal. So, I mean, you have to, as Cut Your Ribbon here, you're kind of forced to either play incredibly aggressively with, like, I don't know, a 1-1 roach timing, and then maybe you can get away with taking the triangle 3rd position, the blue base. Else you're kind of forced into this gold base, which, forced into a gold base, it sounds like, oh, wow, that's a first world problem, right? But, I mean, it's very far away from your natural. It requires, like, 6, I think, creep tumors to get over there. If you want to do like a TLO creep tumor trick with a cancelled hatch, that cuts it down to 3, because you could move out with 2 queens, stick a hatchery in the middle, cancel it, and spread creep both ways. So you could cut that time in half. But even so, it's icky. And then your 4th base is like, well, I guess I take the opposite natural. You really spread yourself out in that position.
Yeah. Taking bases is always the, oh god, how do I do this? When you get a new map, and Inferno Pools it's a pretty new map, to say the least, and it's relatively unplayed. It's probably the 2nd least played map, with only probably Secret Spring being the least played map this season. So not many people are a fan of this map. A lot of it comes down to the spawn positions on this map. The fact that you can get horizontal spawns on this map is it's kind of ridiculous for really any of the matchups. So. Perhaps if they decide to fix that, it'd be nice, but, as it stands, all spawns is really awkward.
Maybe when Legacy comes out, and maybe someone will come up with like a 1-base Ravager rush, and they'll be like, hey, this is really broken on close spawns. Maybe they'll fix it and accidentally do it for HOTS as well, but...
First, Reaper goes down really, really easily.
How much info did that Reaper get?
Nothing. It's all some lings and a queen there, so I mean, it can infer that was hatched first, and the timing of the queens, I don't know. It's rough. It's a rough loss, especially considering the fact that on this map you can hop up from the back, so the Indian could have gone in directly into the main base pretty easily and scattered out the gas at least, but did not choose to do so, and now we have the kind of standard-ish new standard setup here for Zerg, getting those double gases on 36. I'm curious if this is going to be if he's going to go for like 2 base, bling setup, or he's going to go for something more Roach Hydra related.
I think it's going to be something more Roach Hydra related, because we see him going 4 queens into the double gas at around 36. I would assume at least it's going to be a Roach Warren.
Yeah. No Evo chambers
Meanwhile,
right now either.
yeah. It looks pretty standard. We're just waiting for that Roach Warren to go down. But it may well be like a layer or something as well, but he hasn't made the layer yet, so I think it's going to be a Roach Warren. He's probably just going to saturate up, and he's just gone 1 drone over now, so now we can throw down the Roach Warren. I think. There we go. Not looking like an idiot. Sick.
Something like we play Zerg or something. Yeah, it's pretty normal timing, especially in the world of all inspiration. I'm pretty sure we're all rather familiar with Roach Hydra.
Yes, we have an aggressive Zerg approach in this team.
No, really. So seeing this build is not strange at all. And the layer is on the way. We do have double Evo chambers coming up. And of course, no 3rd base is a pretty big tell as well. I mean, the timing of the upgrades isn't going to line up very well for Cut Your Ribbon, but he's going to have the Roaches to take his 3rd base relatively soon. The Roach Warren finishing up just now. I mean, he's got these queens out already. He's felt safe enough that he doesn't have to make... Okay, as I say, he's making a spine collar, but he's felt safe enough at this stage of the game that he hadn't had to make one. With the first 3 Roaches popping out, perhaps he can actually go take a 3rd bait or 3rd hatchery somewhat soon, but I mean, Roach speed on the way already, and waiting for 1-1 to come up as well, but just not having the money to do so yet.
Would have been nice to have seen 1-1 go first, especially seeing as this Diamond League, I'll be a bit more critical. The 1-1 upgrade takes longer than the Roach speed, so I guess ideally you go layer, then 1-1, then Roach speed, but yeah, we're going to have a little bit of unsynced upgrades here. You can normally hit a nice timing around 10 minutes if you get those in the right order. In camp into Ender, we kind of for some reason ignored him this whole time. He'd actually gone for a little bit of a non-standard setup here, grabbing the 2 barracks before the 3rd CC. Apart from that, things are relatively standard here, but he is also missing the extra gases in his natural, which we would have been seeing around 8 minutes if he went for the 3cc double eBay build. So it looks like it's just going to be a pretty heavy stim timing with delayed upgrades.
Yeah, that could be kind of frightening versus what he is playing right now. There's already a good number of Roaches out, and I mean, stim in some upgrades, or stim in an upgradeless Terran is not the most frightening thing you can see right now as a Zerg. So if Cut Your Ribbon does walk over here, he's going to be really difficult for him to break this. There's already 2 bunkers set up for in the end. He's got a couple of Widow Mines as well to help out. He's adding in another bunker even. In the end, has a good amount of production available on these 3 wrecks, adding on a couple more right now. He's got his 3rd command center on the way as well. So this Roach attack is going to have to do a lot. And I mean, 1-1 isn't finished yet, because that speed's finished, and that's the normal timing for a Zerg player, but he doesn't have 1-1.
Yeah, you can have 1-1 at this time, just flat out have 1-1. The amount of Roaches is fine, and he's actually going to get a lot of damage done even without 1-1. Getting smashing through that first bunker, and he's just going to run right past. I'm not quite sure if I like that or not, but I guess he's going to get a few more SCV kills here, but I don't know, is this attack a success? The supplies say it is, but it just feels a little bit sloppy.
Yeah, only 3 worker kills there. Which is definitely not much, and he lost a lot.
3? Oh.
Yeah, he only killed 3 workers. He lost a lot. I think the supply count being so low for in the end is more him making mistakes early on in the game rather than anything that Cut Your Ribbon just did, because Cut Your Ribbon didn't really do anything. I mean, what units did he lose? Oh, the 6 Hellions across the map. That's why in the end supply is so low. He lost 6 Hellions on the other side of the map while that was going on, so I thought he lost them to the Roaches earlier on. So not a lot left over right now for in the end, but Cut Your Ribbon's going to donate a few now, which is, it's a nice little gift there. Nice gift from
nice guy.
The Overminds. Thanks.
Maybe it's like a sign of dominance. Hey, look at all these Roaches I don't need. You can have some. Maybe. I don't know. He is going into Roach Hydra in 2-2 though, off of still 44 drones. So he's taken this gold base, and it's basically a macro hatch at the moment. We just now see him deciding to take the geysers and maybe throw a few drones there, but I guess he's feeling pressured into just, I need to build Roaches and Hydras right now. I can't really saturate this third.
Well, even if he, he's got a lot more than he needs to crush this attack from in the end, and in doing so, he probably could just follow up and attack in the end himself. He's going to have a lot of army supply. He's got 75 army supply to 49 right now. There's only 2 medevacs here for in the end, so he's going to have to pick up and get on out of here. But actually, the Hydra's getting on top of this. Good have almost sniped that off, and now in the end he's in a position where he could get countered really easily. But I don't know if Kite Ribbon has noticed the blood is in the water, has realized that he could go attack right now. I mean, 2-2 is almost finished already for our Zerg player here, so his upgrades are kind of out of control.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Into End is feeling the need to be so aggressive against a Roach Hydra player frontally. I'd much prefer him dropping in the back while he's building up a nice tank count or marauder count back at home, because attacking into a Roach Hydra player at this time is kind of what you want as the Roach Hydra player. So hopefully Into End decides to opt for a more passive approach. Yeah, as he is now building his first tank. But he needs to survive this high supply timing that Cut Your Ribbon's going to have. And it's going to be now, apparently.
Yeah, like I say, high supply, because this is, well, it's pretty low supply still. I mean, the army supplies are even here. Actually, this third CC is just going to go down. India, just zero reaction there. His army is actually in a nice spot to cut this off, so this is going to get awkward here for Kite Ribbon. He could lose his entire army, but losing that third command center was really, really rough there for in the end, but he should be able to clean this up. But 2-2 is extremely nice, and Indian has no upgrades. His upgrades have not finished, so that's a full, basically 4 upgrades ahead right now that our Zerg player is, so a huge amount of damage being taken here by the Terran player. One tank is sieging up now, and that's going to get taken out as well, and this is just getting crushed. Kite Ribbon is just crushing through this. That's supply count.
Game over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blade upgrades.
I don't quite understand what Into End was trying to achieve with his build order choice in this game. He went for the barracks before the CC, delaying the eBays as well, but then he sort of played it out like a standard 3cc double eBay build anyway. And if you're going to do that, I would suggest just doing that build. I'm not sure. I'd have to probably ask Into End what he was trying to achieve this game, because I can't quite understand it myself.
Maybe one of those games where you have a plan and then just one thing happens and you just completely lose your cool. Maybe even so, losing that Reaper the way he did early on in the game may have just thrown him off.
Maybe. Well, he's made a couple more to make up for that.
And he's going to leave the game, so that's that, I suppose.
No GG.
No GG.
Yep.
I mean, you have to be frustrated with yourself after a game like that where not much went right, to say the least. Not much really went right for him.
I don't know. I still think that's a choice to be frustrated there. It's nice to be able to recognize when you're not playing so well and be able just to accept, okay, I'm not playing so well on this day, and then once you accept that, you can move on to, well, what mistakes am I making that I wouldn't normally make? And then you, in future, maybe on a bad day, you're like, okay, I know I'm playing bad today. I therefore know that I will always not saturate my bases well and miss upgrades. So it gives you some things to focus on when you're feeling that you're playing a little bit worse.
Yeah. We'll even up the score in this series at least. We're at 2-2. We're going into set number 5. So perhaps Para-OP could take their first lead of the day, of the night, I suppose, of the week, more accurately. Just looking
times,
at our chats.
yeah.
Times, what? Oh, times. I get it.
I
get what you're saying. I caught your drift. What's the word I'm looking for? Gist. I got your gist. I got the gist of what you're saying. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. Words are functional. So let's talk about StarCraft.
We're in this game.
Yeah, look at that transition. Oh my god.
I'm a professional. Wow. What can I say? Spawning in the top from Para-OP in blue, not on Para-OP. Our Protoss player, it is Wolf.
And our other Gold Protoss player, this time for CD6 in the orange, is Danimal at the bottom. This replay is being casted. Let's see if Danimal gives the right answer. No pressure. There we go. See?
That's accurate. That is an accurate statement, sir.
Well done. I see you in chat lurking, Danimal. You can have your your 5 bonus points and your gold star for getting the answer right, but less for forgetting the 9 pylon.
Oh, I hate when I do that. That's the worst. Oh, that's an even a better question to ask. Is this the playoffs? I'm playing in the playoffs, and is this the playoffs? And I did never. Okay. Yeah.
Wow, go me. Oh dear.
That's
All
interesting,
right.
and that's a 10 gate. So I guess that explains why the pylon was late.
Yeah.
No. Okay. It does
Yeah,
then.
well, sometimes we'll see 10 pylon, 10 gate. I mean, it might just
Yeah.
be a response for him saying, oh, I forgot my pylon, time to 10 gate. That's what some people would do. Like, for me, I forgot my drone, time to 6 pool. That's something
Right.
that I would probably do. But Wolf scouted on 9, so he got the full scout off, and if he is on the ball with his scouting, I know that it's something that lower leaguers will struggle with, but he can say, well, my gateway is halfway done, and your gateway is nearly done. My gas geyser is halfway done, and yours is mining. Therefore, you're faster than me. If you're faster than me, you're attacking me. So I should defend.
It's kind of it's recognizing that. I mean, you can see that simply, but recognizing exactly when that happened. Is this just a 12 gate? Is this something? Was I late? Am I just pissing something back home? Is it my fault? Did I screw up? Or was this actually what it is? Was this actually a 10 gate? So I'm intrigued to see Danimal what he's going to be doing here. Is he going for? Is this going to be something like is there a 3 gate you do off a 10 gate?
There's a 10 gate, 3 gate. It's on in the builds. It's by Trap, who had a bit of a good rise recently. So if you like taking builds from known good players with accolades to their name, what have you, that is up there on in the builds, and I would assume that that's what we're going to be seeing here, especially if we see like a Stalker here or a Mothership Core or something like that, and then into 2 more gateways. Yeah, there's the Stalker before the Mothership Core as well. Chrono Boost into that Warp Gate. It's going to be a 10 gate, 3 gate coming out of Danimal. So how's Wolf going to defend? He's got 6 guys in gas, so he wants tech.
That's rough. I mean, tech can be great. Maybe he's going for a robo facility right now. Maybe that's what this is going to be. That's the pylon. Yeah, this is an extremely powerful attack that hits so freaking early. The 2nd and 3rd gateway is already coming up from Danimal. He's chronoing that gateway research. He's already got the Stalker and the Zealot out. They're going to be moving across the map. The kind of nice thing for Wolf here is he's forcing the probe of Danimal to dance around this watchtower. So there's no pylon down there.
It's actually it's just it's so funny. It's like a boxing match.
Danimal realizes he can't do that anymore. He's got to go make a pylon here soon. Otherwise, his gateway research is going to finish. He's going to have nowhere to warp in at. Make that pylon.
Yeah. Wolf is going for a Stargate, so if he makes a Void Ray first, he might be okay here. And he's actually going up to 3 gateways himself, so if he makes a Void Ray first and buys time for the overcharge, he's making a sentry as well, so things are actually lining up for Wolf to hold this very nicely, assuming he's sniffed it out. If he makes a Void Ray first, I think he's going to be alright. He's chrono boosting the sentry as well, so I think he's identified what's going on. Oracle first, though. Okay. So that's going to help him clean out any Zealots. It's going to help against the Stalkers somewhat as well, and it's also going to help him put on counter pressure, but he has to survive this awkward moment here. And he does pop the overcharge, and he is going to get... Yeah, he's going to get pushed away, so I think Wolf is in a nice position here.
Yeah, not a bad spot to be in as our blue Protoss here. I think the only issue is going for that Oracle rather than going for something a little bulkier. That's a lot of Stalkers out here for Danimal. Actually, he's just going to send the Oracle across the map, which is, I mean, it's one of those things you could do. I mean, you think you've held well enough on your side of the world, go do some damage. You've got this unit that can't really do much good on your side of the map. Like, what is that Oracle going to do? Fly in there and die instantly to all these Stalkers that Danimal has? That's useless.
Yeah.
So he's going to go across the map and try to get some damage done.
Wolf just needs to hit this force field. If he hits this force field, he's okay. And he didn't hit the force field. Well, that is unfortunate. He is not okay. He is borderline dead in the water right now. If he had hit that force field, this game would have been a complete turnaround. But actually, Danimal is... No, he is... Keep going, Danimal. I think you're... Yep, GG.
Yeah. I mean, Wolf, he went over. He went and got 6 worker kills. He probably could have gotten some more. He may have gotten the entire worker line of Danimals, but... it was not going to be enough to win him the game there.
Yeah.
Missing that forceful, that always sucks. That's a painful moment in any player
And
who's played Protoss.
That's almost like the binary switch there of who wins that game, because we saw that Oracle was across the map and had already 10 probe kills, and there was only like 10 left. So if the force fields had landed, then that puts Danimal in an all-in position, but he can't use his army because there's a force field on the ramp, and then Wolf just has to keep force fielding over and over and over until he gets enough gateway units up. So it was that one force field.
Yeah, these things sort of happen, but
Rough.
I will give CT6 yet another lead. They're going to go up 3-2 here. The next set will be a platinum matchup. Before we get into that, it will take just a short moment. I'm very warm and I want something liquid to drink, so I'm going to be taking a break, and I guess Stark, well, he can either sit here and wait patiently, or he can take a break of his own. For the time being, we are going to take just a short moment. We'll be back as soon as possible can. Once again, this is the Chobo Team League casting our playouts here for CTL Season number 9. Paragons Perfection versus CTL Team 6. I am TB Ham. With me is Stark. Do stick around. Thanks for watching. Please do follow if you have not already, and we will be back as soon as we can.
When you reach the end, will you wait for me? Holding out a torch that's lighting up the way. I can't run and I can't crawl, but as soon as I scale your castle walls, I'll try to find you. 'Cause I know I see it all tonight. Oh, I see it all tonight.
Alrighty, we are back. Getting into our next game, which is going to be, as I said before going to it, it's going to be another ZVP. We're going to be on Deadwing this time around. The Paragons are going to be looking to even up this series here, if they're capable of doing so or not. We'll wait and see. Otherwise, they will be going down to their last life if Doomshy is able to take a win here for CT6. So, rather important match here, a platinum matchup, our last platinum matchup of the week as well. So,
yep, got 2 diamonds and a gold coming up after this. So, all right, spawning in on Deadwing, we have for CT6 the Orange Protoss. We've had a lot of CT6 Orange Protosses. This time it's Doomshy.
at least they play in their colors, which is really nice. I do appreciate the fact that they actually know to play in their team color. Some teams don't do that, all inspiration. And spawning down here in the bottom right in blue from Paragons of Perfection, not even close to their team color, it is Polyester.
I mean, I can't help that All-In's A is not yellow. I mean, that is a notable design fault, and we are working on that. Maybe next year for April Fools, I'll make it yellow.
I'm pretty sure this year's April Fool's joke was just genius.
Oh yeah,
it keeps happening. It's still happening today. It's amazing.
Yeah, for those who don't know, we had a little bit of fun in our internal chat as we talk over the nothing that's happening at the start of this game. Sinistar decides that he's going to make a fake Blizzard Entertainment Gmail account and send out emails to everyone in the team telling them that they got into the beta, and then right at the end of the email, it's love all-in management. Lol. The amount of people who didn't read the entire email was amazing.
One of them still doesn't understand it. It's pretty great.
Oh yeah.
I think there were at least 2 people today, this morning when I woke up, who either hadn't been on or just woke up today themselves to check their email, who had the same reaction as some other people did. I think Detner just figured it out today as well. And I think there's one other person, maybe Leon, maybe no, not Icarus. Icarus was around yesterday. It's maybe Leon, maybe him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty fun, hilarious day yesterday. But we are getting a little bit further into this game here. We're going to be having a pretty quick expand out of Doomshy. No surprise, a large map here. He did opt to go for his gateway first, however, and we don't have anything, regarding an expansion out of Paul here. Was this a 14-14 that I completely just ignored?
This was I believe, a 15 pool. It was definitely pooled into gas, so it's not massively aggressively gassy, but he's never mind. Cancel. Forget everything I said. This is like a Nexlux build.
Yeah.
This is one base. That speed's got to be cancelled, surely, right?
Surely, like that. This is like a 12 roach opening or something.
No. You don't have one base.
hatchery.
It's gonna be 7.
7, but you need to cancel the speed. I mean, that's a cool fake to do, especially if there's a probe in there. And that probe sees that pool wagon's like, okay, you're getting speed, whatever. I'll walk away now. It actually almost got me a win over Shadver the other day, but he decided to actually come back with this probe because who actually scouts twice? Gosh. So he could be faking this, but I mean, having link speed isn't a bad thing. But you can see right now he's only making 3 roaches. Granted, he's also kind of supply blocked and can't really make anything. There's a 4th roach coming out, and now we got some lings coming up, so it's gonna be a lot of units. I guess he wants speed. I mean, this is a big freaking map. It's gonna take a year and a half to get across the map, and there's already gonna be a cannon up. And Doomshy, he's not expanded. He's realizing that his opponent's on one base, and he does not need to expand right now.
Yeah, the one-base Protoss will eventually beat a one-base Zerg, hence why Zergs will always be taking that expansion as fast as possible. And this is like a one-base timing into a natural, because we have the drone here and we have 300 minerals, and I would assume that after this wave of link he's going to throw down the hatchery. This is a very interesting build. Yeah, he's pulled entirely out of gas, so he's either just rallying speedlings, or yeah, he's going to make the hatch and maybe even keep rallying speedlings, but as soon as this Nexus finishes from Doomshy, he's going to be able to overcharge it. So Doomshy just has to hold until then. And he's got enough minerals to make a wall, but he hasn't yet done it. Hopefully he will. There we go. There's part of a wall, kind of.
Yeah, it's not exactly the most impressive of walls, but it will get the job done. And there's not that many roaches here. There's only 4, so it's going to take a little bit of time to kill the zealot off. And then there's actually the cannon is barely in range. Paul is doing a very good job of keeping his lings back until the zealot's actually dead. So now he can flood in there, which is actually pretty frightening. This is a lot of units coming in right now. He's just going to go for the cannon instead of going for any workers or anything. I mean, granted, Doomshai could just... I think he's actually just going to go directly in and overcharge this. No, he's going to wait a little bit of time. But, well, now what does Doomshai do? Does he overcharge the main or the natural?
He overcharges the... Well, evidently he overcharges the main. I think it would have been better to fully wall off the natural and then overcharge the natural. But this game is going to get weird.
Yeah. This is going to be awkward. This natural obviously is going to go down, and with it, there's going to be a forge that's going to die, and a gateway that's going to die. He's already lost the cannon as well. He's lost one pylon also, and luckily he hasn't lost any probes, I suppose, but still, he's forced to sit back on one base right now, and actually there's a Bailey nest coming up.
I know, like... Admittedly, yeah, Polio just completely wiped out this natural, but he's only on 14 drones back at home. Still, he's got a macro hatch in his natural, conveniently. But, oh, this game has gotten very strange. This is a huge amount of speedlings, but there's cannons here ready to defend, and as soon as Doomshai manages to get that Nexus in his natural, it's going to be half saturated already by the looks of things. But maybe not, as the probes are having to be pulled to fight these lings. This game's got weird.
Yeah,
Now no lings are left for the Banelings to be morphed into.
Yeah. And the bad thing about that for Paul is the fact that he's still behind the workers, okay? To say that he popped 5, but see, he's just now taking a worker lead. Doomshai does have 2 gateways. He's about to have a 3rd. If Doomshai had a pylon across the map right now, I think he'd just win this game outright. But as it stands, he's got to bust out of his own main base now and push his Zerg opponent back a little bit so he can actually do something useful. And we actually have a lair on the way now from Paul, so he's using all of his no gas for interesting things.
Yeah, he's still... I mean, he'll be able to make an Overseer when the lair's finished. So I'm going to say that's what it is, and he's going to fly it in and see what Doomshai's doing on one base.
Oh. Doomshai is making a Nexus on one base. That's what he's doing.
One base Nexus. I mean, that's a pretty good build.
Whoops. Oh.
Careful.
Scared him. He was
Surprise
behind me, apparently. Yeah. He's behind me. I did not know he was behind me. Oops. And now he's trying to say sorry. Anyway. So, I don't know. This is an interesting game. What tech do we have at a Doomshai? We have no tech out of Doomshai right now.
Nah, he's got Warp Gate, I believe. Yeah, he has. I mean, he has Warp Gate. So it's Warp Gate and Link Speed. That's the tech. Overlord Speed. I don't know why Polio Esther decided to wait for a layer to morph Overlord Speed, but yeah, I guess he's just going to throw down like a Hydralisk down at some point. I would assume. Really,
anything would be good right now. Doomshai's moving across the map with 2 Zealots and 4 Sentries. That is much power. That's
a death squad if I ever saw one. Is there a probe coming? No, it's another Sentry. Oh, he's just rallying gateway units across. What a class. Oh, he's already got the pylon. That's why. That makes a lot more sense. Wow.
Oh, well, this is actually going to be kind of a frightening attack here from Doomshai. This 3rd factory is not going to live, and there's really nothing right now for our Zerg player. He's got some spines trying to come up, but he's really supply blocked right now. Can't make anything.
Oh, this game is... I didn't think this game could get weirder. I mean, ideally Doomshai pokes in the natural, sees that these spine crawlers are building, and kills them. And he might actually still be able to kill them in time. This is going to get... He's got 5 seconds to kill these spine crawlers. Is he going to try it? No, he's not going to be able to poke into that. But now it's a soft-contained Zerg player with 5 spine crawlers. 6 spine crawlers. He's actually going to try and bust through this. Is that going to work? I don't think so. Transfusion goes down pretty well.
Trying to make it work. I mean, 1 queen got a transfuse off. There's another transfuse available. The small amount of units that are actually here for Paul are pushing this back a little bit, but he's getting a little bit too brave with these units. And well, Guardian Shield is pretty good. The force fields are, well,
come back.
yeah, Mothership Core is being dangerous.
Run!
And there's so many spines. Oh, Queen getting a little brave there.
What a wonky
She have
game.
pylons being picked off by a spine crawler. It's ridiculous. How many spines are there right now? Is that 6? It's 5.
It was 6, it's now 5, yeah. I mean, this is all well and good, but Doomshy has forgotten to build probes back at home. I'll say that he's forgotten because he probably well should be. He's on 1 probe in his natural. So, even though this is looking very scary, Paul still has a full natural. So, Doomshy, yeah, he does really need to start probe production as he does now, and he's getting the +1 and an observer as well, so he is looking to transition from this, and yeah, he just gives up and recalls. I think that's fair.
Yeah. I think 37 workers are 27 right now. The supply is actually pretty even, kind of surprisingly, and, well, there's an observer out, so Doomshy can keep an eye on his opponent at least, which is good for him. But this is it's a strange game. I think Doomshy might catch up on the workers pretty soon. And we have Burrow on the way, with an infestation pit on the way as well. So I don't know. There's so much money right now for the Zerg player. He just needs to actually have units to be able to, or larvae to make units, and he doesn't have it. He's trying to just rally across the map right now, but just so little available to him.
And this is Burrow in an infestation pit? Okay, alright. Build order.
Oh.
Never mind. That's a better build order. I was going to say he makes 5 infestors without pathogen gland, burrows in, past the photon cannon. I don't know how you do that part, but you go past the photon cannon. And then you
with
drop
roaches, obviously.
Yeah, okay, there you go. You kill... Better idea. You kill the rocks in the back, so then you don't even show that you have roaches at the front. And then you burrow in the back, neural a probe, and build a nexus and overcharge it.
What game did I watch recently? Did we watch recently that had a nexus in the mix? Oh, that wasn't a peep mode. Never mind.
Yeah, that was in an internal peep mode where
That's
someone
what that
got
was.
someone got proxy overcharge 4-gated. That was
on
yeah,
overgrowth. That's
on
such a
overgrowth.
small main. How does that
Somehow
happen?
got the nexus inside a Terran player's. It was a Terran player's base. Yeah, it was a Terran player's base. I don't know. But it's not going to be that. It's going to be Enduring Locusts, Swarm Hosts, and a Nidus Worm. There's also still a Baning Nest here that hasn't been used throughout the entire game, I might add.
Oh no. What little army Paul just got wrecked. Doomshy saw that it was there and just came behind it and surrounded it. And the only thing that got out of that was the Overseer. The Swarm Hosts do still exist, so that's a thing. But there's an Observer already. Tunneling Claws is on the way, so that could be a factor. But this is a pretty scary army moving across the map right now for Doomshy. Once again, he's got an army and his opponent doesn't have one.
But Paul has the free army, and these guys are so free they're being nerfed. So he might just turn around, go home, make a Colossus Den in the third. Yeah, there we go. There's the Colossus Den. But he actually has enough force fields to maybe get something done here, and Enduring Locust hasn't finished, so he's got a little bit of time. But Locust is scary, man. You don't want to fight those.
Yeah, especially without having Blink right now. If Doomshy had Blink and he could Blink micro against this, or just Blink on top of these Swarm Hosts right now, that'd be great, but he doesn't have Blink, so it's a bit of a moot point. But he's still going to get on top of most of those Swarm Hosts. He does kill one of them. Let's force field out a couple of the Locusts on the front side there, and more Locusts coming in from all directions, but just not enough here for Paul to actually hold this. And he's got so much money. Does he have larvae? He's got 10 larvae. He can make real units that aren't Swarm Hosts. That's kind of upsetting.
But Swarm Hosts are good units, right? So you need to make those. And I think, Swarm Hosts and then a few Lings, and that's probably all he needs here. I mean, the Swarm Hosts are very slowly being picked off. I'd like to see the Queens try and push this Observer away if they can. There's four Overseers to see that, but Doomshy just says, nope, I'm going to start focusing things down, and all of a sudden, sometimes you're like, oh, actually, look, there's still Locusts here, and they're still killing everything, and this is now the time to Nidus your opponent's side of the map and move everything over there, apparently, because why the hell not? I mean, what else can we throw in this game? I mean, do we have, like, DT drops under a mothership? Can we have that as well? I'd like that.
It's totally a possibility. There's nothing in the Nidus right now. There's some Storm hosts standing
wow.
by it. There we go. He's
It's just
putting
a threat.
4 drones in.
He's putting drones. Oh! What's he gonna do? Quad expand on this side of the map? He's got the money. Oh,
He's
go
got
on.
a ton of money. He's just.
Take this base.
I think
Go
he's so focused on wanting to use a Nidus network and Swarm host that he's forgetting to try to win the game. And apparently, Carl wins.
They mad, man. I don't know. Tell them not have to be mad. Alright, go on. Expand to this base behind the Nidus. It's great. You always want to expand where your army is so you can defend the expansion.
What drones are you doing?
Mana hatches! Oh, no.
Oh. Yes.
Is he actually going to take
nice.
the... Oh, Sport Crawlers. Okay. I mean, that's a sensible choice. But, I don't know. This game hasn't been about sensible choices so far. It's been about entertaining choices instead. So... The first Colossus has popped now, and Doomshy is probably just going to turtle up until he's got like 4 to 6 Colossus, and then he's going to feel like he can move out. But I think this game is finally, maybe, somewhat, kind of ish normalizing.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, this looks like a normal 21-minute PvZ at the moment. There's Swarm host popping in, getting shredded by some units, and that's about it. The Locust, they did take a bit of a break from one of the last couple of spawns, so they weren't actually doing any damage. And Doomshy, with that charge, is actually kind of hurting him a little bit. He's just charging directly into the Locust and attacking his own cannon as well. He wisely is putting this motion core out in front so he can get a little bit of spotting done. And I mean, there are 2 Colossus finished now. There's a 3rd one on the way, but there's a bit of a transition coming, I suppose. There's a Spire, but Doomshy has a War Prism as well, so there's just so many things that can go wrong for both players still.
This game, man, this Mothership Core actually just going to die. So, it doesn't get... It was a full Mothership Core, got no spells off there. Doomshy has made the pretty intelligent decision of covering the final dead spaces in his main, and he's got a Stalker on patrol as well. Now that Nidus one has popped, we don't even see pros do that, so that's nice to see out of Doomshy. Because I was thinking that now is the time where you Nidus in the back and just throw a bunch of Lings in there, or even Baneling, because he still has the Baneling nest. And just causing havoc somewhere else. Now that you've got Doomshy pinned in one place, you go attack somewhere else. You actually got a sentry there. That's nice.
There's a few Zealots that were warped into the natural base over here on the other side of the map by Doomshy, but all of these Spine Colors from earlier are still here. So I don't think those Zealots really got anything. I think they got some damage done on the Queen, maybe swiped out a drone once, but that's about it. And actually, the Swarm hosts are now under fire. I mean, there's 3 Colossus here, 4 Colossus here, which is a rather large amount. And Paul's going to try to poke in here with his Hydras, but Colossus counter Hydras as well, and now he's on top of the Swarm host, and the Swarm host are all going to die, and there's no tech. Yeah,
It would have been nice to get those Swarm hosts out. That's really painful. Now that all the Swarm hosts have gone, I mean, what does Doomshy have to be afraid of? Apart from the Spore Crawlers attacking his Colossus, I don't think there's much, right? I mean, he's warping in more Zealots. He's got a Pylon in the 4th base of Paul somehow. He's warping in again in the natural, actually getting a Queen kill there. He might even get a 2nd one. No, 1 health.
Really?
So close. Yeah, that natural Zerg regen.
War Prism is still being really, really annoying. It's actually into the main, or kind of poking into the main base, but the main issue is this very large army that's moving across the map right now. We got 4 Colossus here, we got a couple of Mortals, and there's even some Sentries here to help out against nothing but Hydras. There are 9 Corruptors, but Corruptors still can't deal with the ground army itself, so actually even Zealots walking in from the back here. Where did those even come from? Did he
The War Prism's in the main, and there's a Pylon just in the 4th. It's still there.
Oh, he's going to kill it now, finally.
There we go. So Doomshy is just going to wait for Blink and +2, and I would have liked to have seen a Stalker Warp in then, just to go with the fact that he's researching Blink, but I guess he's harassing the main with the Zealots anyway, so you got 1 Queen, and you might even get a 2nd Queen kill here. Transfused? No. But he's now just going to have to kind of... Oh dear. It was not the Warp Prism you wanted to get in, boys.
No. Well, it was not, but... again, this army on the other side is poking into the 4th base now here in a second. The Corruptor's actually getting a little bit too far out. Is he going to blink underneath those? No, he's not going to blink underneath that. Paul's going to lose this hatchery, but he's going to go for this. He's going to get force fielded back, which was, well, exactly what was going to happen to him. Their Corruptors are doing a lot of work. 2 of the Colossus have already gone down, and some of these Corruptors still do remain. 4th Colossus does. 3rd Colossus goes. Wait, was that even a Colossus that went down?
That was a Mothership Core.
Mothership Core is what that was. But we do have a 3rd Colossus go down, and now the 4th one could go down as well, but there's no ground army left over here for our Zerg player, which is rather awful for him. He's got 10 Lings and 4 Roaches in production, which is not going to save the day against this
Spines could have helped. Would have liked to have seen these Spine Crawlers pull down to the 4th base. Spines do an underrated amount of damage to Stalkers and stuff. They do bonus versus armored, I think, right? An extra 5? Yeah, so that would have been nice to have seen those Spines down there. That may have even made the difference there, because the supplies are still pretty damn even. I think Doomshy is still going to come out on top here, but if those Spines and Queens were down there helping out as well, maybe the game would have continued on a little bit further than this. But I think we're going to see Doomshy just barely clean up here with his few remaining Protoss units.
Just a very little bit that he's left over. I mean, Doomshy isn't warping in. There we go. Okay, there's the warping. I was concerned.
The Immortal, 38 kills. What a boss.
The what? The Immortal. There it is.
40 kills. Sick.
It might get another couple or so as well. It's up to 41 now. I think it was actually the one who killed that whatever was down there, the infestation pit. There we go. GG. So 29-minute game that started with a 15 pull, 15 gas.
And the Immortal has 42 kills. It is the meaning of life because it's Immortal. Whoa!
Oh,
I know, you can tell it's 2:30 in the morning because we're all going insane. Whoa! That Immortal.
My favorite is how you said have to.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I could say 2.5 if you prefer. Is that the Imperial way of saying?
Either. It's like the Imperial way to say it. That's just dumb.
That's just dumb.
That's just dumb, girl. We are going to be getting into set number 7, which Para OP is down to the last life at this point, so they do have to win out to keep their hopes alive of having a golden first season. They are one of 2 teams who are in the playoffs in their very first season. Relentless Heroes is the other one. Relentless Heroes actually swept the group stage entirely, so they have yet to lose this season. So congrats to them. Para OP, they started pretty slow. I want to say they started out maybe like 2-2 or 1-2 or something like that. But since then they haven't lost a game. Haven't lost a week. So into the season 5-2. So
not bad.
Pretty good first showing. Second seed out of Group A. So nicely done by them.
What was it with CT6 putting both of their crazy strange players out on crazy strange maps? Does that help with crazy strange?
Where does Canary play? What map is Canary play this week?
Canary doesn't like Secret Spring.
Well, we put him there anyway.
We did.
So it's a thing. Anyway, spawning over here on the left side of Secret Spring in orange from CT6, our Terran player is Vespasian.
You guys with the team colors, so coordinated. Wow. And in the not team color, otherwise known as red, it is Maniac Jace with the alternating caps. I don't know, man. These alternating caps. It's always something you regret.
I think Vesp watched Canary's game.
I mean, it's a good build, right? Step 1.
On this map, sure. Oh, he's not going to go on base.
Oh, no, he's not as ballsy as Canary. I don't know, man.
I can't believe that worked. I still can't believe that actually worked. It's a risk to take. Canary, he practiced that. He practiced that timing exactly. And it would have worked even better against Jace, because look where this first depot is. He would not have seen an in-base proxy, but this is still an extremely powerful build on this map, especially given just the amount of cliff space that Reapers are going to have to deal with here. So this is going to be really annoying for Jace to deal with. He does have his own gas on the way, so he can get into a factory pretty quickly. It's kind of curious to see what's going to be coming out of his first barracks. Is it going to be a Reaper? Is it going to be a Marine?
He opened up 12-12, so I would guess it's going to be a Reaper. I've never actually played 12-12 in Terran versus Terran, so I'm not sure how it plays out. I would assume that you have... If you can survive the first few Reaper attacks, that's a pretty nice position, because you can just have more Reapers, I guess, maybe. or like have a better economy or something like that.
Yeah, there's a second Rax here for Vesp actually. Um, so he's
Oh,
not
the
screwing
orbital
around.
invariant. Yeah. The alternative is you make the orbital at home, and you can kind of maybe ish transition, but this is just like no sup. I'm just going to kill you with Reapers.
Yeah, I feel like this doesn't afford you the ability to actually make a bunker either. Since you've invested a lot of
Nope.
minerals, you're going to be using twice as many minerals on units. Is he going to have the gas? Yeah, he will have the gas to be able to do this, I suppose. He should have the gas to continue to be able to do this as well. But first Reaper is here, and the timing on that should say to Jace that, hey, you proxied this, which is not good for my life. So
Whoa,
hopefully
he's putting a
Jace.
reactor though.
Oh, good God, he doesn't
Oh,
realize. He's going to have to use
dude.
SCVs just hanging around then. He's going to make a bunker. What are you going to do?
Dude, the balls on this guy. How do you... You can't build a reactor. You gotta build like a
No.
bunker. 5 bunkers, and then salvage them for more money. But he has pulled some workers, actually, so... Wow, this has gotten crazy. I mean, if this reactor finishes, he's gonna be able to build a lot of stuff, but it's only gonna be Marines. He's pulled all the SCVs now, and... That's one SCV going down, 2, 3, maybe... Just 2. What a strange game. This looks really good for Vesp, no?
Yeah, I mean, the worker counts, I mean, obviously the worker count is double right now for Jace, but 90% of
The
Jace's
income.
workers are sitting here running around right now. So 2 Marines do pop out, and I think they do get 1 kill, so that's nice. And basically, if Jace can snowball that, he's going to be fine, but at the same time, it's still 2 Reapers at a time here for Vesp constantly. He's going to get to 5 here in just a second, which... it's a rather powerful amount, and Jace he's forced to keep all of his units out front. He has to kind of hopefully read Vespasian's mind. He's going to catch 1 more Reaper, which is really nice. He's going to catch a second Reaper as well. Oh, that's not good at all for Vesp.
These
That may
Reapers
actually
have
be
got
the
to
death
stay
knell.
alive as long as possible. That is unfortunate there. I don't know why that dude went for that kind of a jump, but that is painful. But, I mean, it's 8 workers to 13. I think if Vesp can still... Oh, there's a natural low for Maniac Jace that's just finished up as well. So Vesp needs to get some damage done with these Reapers within the next minute or so. And that's certainly possible because it's what? 5... It'll be 5 Marines against 5 Reapers. So with sufficient kiting, it's certainly possible. But they can't die like... Oh, no, another one died. How many Reapers have died now? 4 Reapers. Ouch.
Yeah, Vespi, he's still, I mean, obviously he's still going with this. It's not like he's not doing damage, but losing Reapers at all right now, he's going to lose yet another one. And now the Reapers actually up top here are what could be kind of trapped, but, well, Jace, well, he can trap these pretty easily now if he wants to. He's given a little bit too much chase, I think. He could maybe get them with the SCVs, just walk around, but no, he's just like, yeah, let's go ahead and continue mining. I don't really care.
There's another Reaper
Kill
down.
get another Reaper, and you're going to get another one. Maybe, no. Just barely gets out.
But
6 Reapers.
look at the
down.
worker count now, though. I think Vesp might have done enough damage there. I mean, back at home... Oh, he just pulled the
Oh.
SC. Well. I was thinking, yeah, maybe he can, like, make a factory now. No, that's not going to happen this game. He's jumped up and lost... Oh, no, that's another Reaper down. I think Vesper's maybe not quite realized how much damage he's done. I think he could have just thrown down a factory and slowly macroed off of this and kept the pressure up. It is really difficult to say, though.
Yeah, it really. I mean, it was a good start for Vesp. Just to say the least, he got a lot done there, and I can't believe Jace went for that reactor and has managed to stay alive in this game. But he made the right decision of waiting, using all of his SCVs rather than just sitting back and letting them all get picked off. And now it's just so many
It's a numbers
Marines
game.
here. Yeah, 8 more SCVs just went down for Vesp, and that was his entire SCV count. But I mean, the Reapers are still alive, so that's nice. But no money.
They
Well, he's
need
actually
to
got a
get
lot
in here
of
and
weapons.
kill these SCVs. I mean, it could well do with a bit of multitasking, like splitting them up maybe, but they just jumped into the Marines again. A couple of Marines have ran in the front for Vesp. I'd like to see maybe like 2 Reapers go in the top side and 2 in the bottom side, just to try and get to this SCV count. It's still possible to kill a few here and try and maybe even it up, but I'm not sure if that SCV pull was the right idea there.
Yeah, the SCV pool did not seem to do too much other than lose best of all of his workers. And now, in 12 workers right now, we do have this natural base finished up. So even just the mules alone for Jason are enough. And there we go. GG out of Vesp. So that will do it for that set. So Jace will pull it back slightly for Para. OP. Makes it a 4-3 series rather than 4-2. So still alive despite reports to the contrary.
Whew. It was a pretty intense game. Yeah, there was a couple of times there where I think either player could have macroed off of that a bit. Yeah, he said he was a bit too tilted losing the Reapers. Yeah, I mean, normally you don't say, oh, I've lost 5 Reapers, but I've done enough damage against my 2-base opponent with my 1-bases to still macro off against a 2-base opponent. I mean, I think, yeah, the 5% chance of winning with pulling the SCVs is probably the right call most of the time, but I think he did enough damage to macro off. It's so tricky to make that call, though, with the fact that you've screwed up earlier, and the fact that it's a tournament game, and the fact that it might well be a game that's late in the week and it's a key game, and the pressure gets to you sometimes.
Yeah. That said, we are going to be getting into set number 8. It's going to be our last gold set for the week. Going to be a PvP, so yet another Protoss versus Protoss, another just Protoss anything involved, which is just hilarious considering the CTL itself. I mean, there's so few Protoss in the league, but we've seen so many so far today, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, we are here in set 8, and spotting down here in the bottom right from CT6. In orange, our Protoss player, it's Y54.
Yep. Showing our green Protoss player, Corregidor, how to type.
Corregidor is actually Para OP's captain as well, so let's see if he fares better than CT6's captain. Corregidor, he's been doing really well this season. I think he's like 4-1. Oh, no,
he's undefeated.
5-1. No, he's not.
I think he's undefeated.
Bro, I do the rankings. I'm pretty sure he did lose one match.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 6-1. He's 6-1. He played every single week and only lost once, which is
I
pretty
know he's hella
impressive.
good.
Yeah.
This guy, I was looking at the Wikipedias as we go and show. I'm like, oh, Corregidor, you won week 1, nice, good job. And then I see him in week 2. Oh, you won week 2, cool. And then he just kind of kept winging it. I'm like, what? Good job. Like, there's not many people who have gotten that 5 wins in a 7-week period badge thing. It's pretty tricky to get. No 10 gates, do 13 gates instead. Nice macro openings. Actually, Corregidor going for the 9 scout, so he gets to see, oh, you're 13 gate, cool, and it looks like he's just going to go home.
He may go home, maybe just poke back in. He looks like he was chasing this probe. I'm not sure if he's expecting that to... Well, maybe he just wants to know exactly what that probe is doing. Never mind, he's going to turn back around and make sure he gets all the information he can, because, there's no reason not to. And if he really wants to be cheeky, he can steal a gas, but 54 is not going to let that happen. He's going to take both of his gas at the same time up here, so... Could this be a Stargate build? I don't know. PvP is such a funny object.
Yeah, the thing I like about PvP is basically every tech option is viable, and I'm hoping that when Legacy comes around that doesn't change things, because that's probably the most enjoyable thing about PvP in my opinion, is seeing all of the Protoss units come out at some point during the game. So it's really nice to see that, personally.
Well,
I'm in the... I know
added more units, so...
This
it's a
is
possibility. And I'm not going to go into it, but I think there's so much that's available. It's going to be a really great change. I think so far, pretty much everyone who has played has been saying that a lot of especially the economy changes, it's going to be great for the game, great for the scene. So it's going to be really cool. Because at this point of the game, at 3 minutes 40 seconds, we're going to be on 3-base economy. And it's going to be hilarious. Or we're going to be finished with the game even, just because it's how quickly things move. It's really, really interesting. But in this game, both players, I think it's pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Mirror. I was going to say that, and so, never mind, it's still mirror. We have Twilight Councils coming from both players.
Yeah, and Corregidor, he's going to be able to get in and say, oh, look, you're going the same as me. He clicks on that. Nice. So he has the option now of saying, I know you're going Twilight Council, I know I'm going Twilight Council, so I'm going to make a Dark Shrine. So if you go Blink, you just kind of die.
Yep.
I wonder if that's what we're going to see. That being said, he also knows that if he goes for Dark Shrine, he's going to have to make a Robo fast, because Y54 is either going to go Blink or Dark Shrine himself.
Yep.
Let's face it, you don't get one base charge, that sucks. It's going to... Oh, double Dark Shrine! Yes, I love these games.
This is going to be ridiculous.
So weird.
The first person to make detection wins.
There is actually a macro build for this. It's like a Dark Templar expand with a Robo, and it looks like that's what Corregidor is actually getting. Both players are. Just Y54 is like having a second gate. Sick.
This is it's great. So this is definitely both players. They know of a build order that is this, and they're both doing it. They're both doing the same build order. They're just doing it a little bit different. Corregidor, he has a Stalker. That seems to be the only difference currently. Looks like there's more gateways right now for 54. Does he have?
Yeah, he's got the second gate.
Yeah, there's only a single gateway. There's a second gateway for Corregidor. It's a little bit later. And does he have any pylons? Okay, Corregidor does have a single pylon right now. There's a couple of them actually available for 54, including one that's actually in the natural here. So that's intriguing. What's going to be the first unit out of each other's Rebel facilities? It's going to be observers.
It should be observers. They
should be.
I think both have either seen. Both players definitely have DTs on their mind. And both players have Robos as well, so they're probably both going to be thinking, well, I don't want to die to DTs, because I know they're a thing, because I have my own DTs. So I think Y54 is going to be throwing down the natural Nexus here, and the DTs are nice because they can they can just flat out win you the game, they can put on a bit of counter pressure, and look at that wall-off, look at that professional level wall-off, that's so cool. Oh my god, the DTs, they might get a Stalker, they might get 2 Stalker kills actually, but 2 DTs for 1 Stalker? I don't think that's worth it. And
where's the observer for 54? Because he's losing units right now. There it is. He actually uses the overcharge, but he's lost 4 workers right now. He's going to try to get away from the overcharge, but it's not going to happen. Oh, it does happen. Oh, vision. Vision's bad. Where is the observer again?
It's in the natural, not in the natural, the mineral line. He's gonna find that DT. I think Stalker might even shoot it. There we go. Pew, pew.
Did lose 4 workers though, so that's a bit of an issue. But that said, the natural is a little bit later for Corregidor, yeah. So both players, I mean, they both make mistakes, but they end up still even. So, was there a second Robo that just popped up somewhere? Am I insane?
I think you're insane.
Okay.
I'll be honest. Yeah, you're just insane. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay to be insane. There are places to help you with that.
I'm gonna watch this replay later. And I'm going to see if there's a second Robo.
Nah, there was a Forge and a Nexus, and Corregidor made an Immortal, which is kind of the same color as a Robo.
Okay, maybe it was an Immortal. It was bedtime like 7 hours ago. So...
yeah, so Corregidor's got another DT in there, actually, and... yeah, it is going to also target the overcharge, even though it's not being shot by the overcharge. Where's the observer, Obama? Oh, here it is. It's coming back into the main. But that second DT, I don't think should have gotten some damage done. That observer should have been idling in the natural just to spot this come in. And it's actually going to walk out.
With it. Oh my goodness. So that's really rough for White before. He's only down 4 workers still. So it's not, the end of the world, but he has lost 10. If you think about him having 37 workers right now to 29, it'd be absolutely huge. And we already have Archons being morphed in by Corregidor. He's just got the options, I think, a little bit in his favor right now. I mean, Army Supply right now 25 to 12 in favor of our Green Protoss player, which is at this stage a rather impressive amount. We don't see charge or anything like that. It's just going to be seeing +1 out of both players. The +1 is going to be a lot quicker here for 54. I'm curious, is Corregidor going to wait for +1 or is he just going to go?
I think he's just going to go. He saw with his DTs that he forced an overcharge twice in the main base. So there's no way that there's going to be in time for a third overcharge, right? So he's just going to go with this small little squad of Immortals, Archons, and a few Gateway units. And he's going to peek in with the Observer, see what's up. He likes what he sees. He's going to lose. You got to keep that Observer alive, though, because both players have Dark Templar tech, and things can get weird if you lose your Observer. And actually, if Y54 focuses that Observer down, he might be able to walk in his own DTs, but I think he's been forced back a little bit too far. Some nice Observer control by Corregidor, keeping that alive. And this
I think
is
it's
getting...
one of those points of the game where you know exactly the only thing that can make you lose the game, which is losing your observer. So you focus on not losing that observer, which is exactly what Corvidor did. Is there something on the other side of the map? Really, there isn't. There's an observer. There's a DT that's actually idling over at like the 4th, 5th base location of Corvidor, but that's not going to do anything. Corvidor is actually in the natural now, or in the main base of Y54, and there's nothing here. There's an overcharge. But an overcharge isn't going to stop all of this from killing everything. He's even focusing down just the Nexus itself. That's how confident he is right now.
Yeah, I mean, Y54 does have the money to rebuild this Nexus if he loses it, but I'm not sure if he can clean up the army with just probes. He's going to make an effort for it, but with the second Immortal showing up, the Archon's doing splash, the DT chopping away, GG is called, and that ties us up again.
Yeah. So ace match is going to be an ace match, which is awesome. And it's going to be an interesting one. We have 1 HP for the win. He's... I don't know, like, he's not...
He makes a lot of Stormhosts.
He makes a lot of Stormhosts. He's obviously very good. But he's not, you know... When you think of CTL itself, you see a lot of these ace diamonds, and they're so impressive. A lot of them have a lot of Masters finishes in their career history. And 1HP, I'm not sure if he actually even has a Masters finish. I would have to actually look at his profile to see that. I'm not sure if he has. So he's not the normal style of ace that you would normally see in CTL. So that's an intriguing choice. But I know CT6 is the rather low on diamond players, and they rely a lot in the lower leagues, and you can see it in the wins today. Both diamonds so far for CT6 have lost, but all of the low league players have won. So that's where they get their wins. That's where they've pretty much always got their wins. Besides 2 seasons ago when Gulu was just wrecking everybody, but.
Last season as well. He wrecked me.
And that too, yeah. He's been around for a while, doing a lot of damage. But, you know, when he's gone, I mean, if you're able to rely on those low league players, that's the nice thing about this league. And if you've got people who can coach them up and teach them to play well, you're going to go far. So, but it is going to come down to this one. It's going to come down to 1 HP. And the other player, Drumhead from Para OP, is somebody I actually... back in Season 2, he was on Payback, which was the team that I was on as well. So I do know him a little bit. And he was somebody who was in Masters long ago, and he's been around for a really long time, just in StarCraft itself. So he's on Reddit a lot. I see Reddit a lot. So it's no surprise seeing. It's kind of funny to see him come back, especially given the way that Payback left and the fact that he was one of the leadership of Payback. So interesting to see him back, and I know he's a very strong player going up against one of our admins, 1 HP for the win. And this is going to be for the series. It's going to be for the set. It's going to be for the lives of the season for both of these teams coming down to this set.
Yeah. Interesting thing to note is these games aren't played in order, so there very likely wasn't as much pressure on these two players at the time. It's always interesting to think what order the games might be played in, but very unlikely that this was saved for the last game, so these players are probably... we might see some crazier builds.
Possibly.
Maybe.
There's a possibility, but we are into our first game. This is a best of 3 within itself to decide 1 point. Spawning down here in the bottom left from CT6. It is our British Zerg player in pink. It's 1 HP for the win.
My boy. Unbiased, though. Of course. And we have the green Protoss for Para. Hey, you picked team colors. It is Drumhead. At the top right of Overgrowth, going for either a very sneaky cannon rush or probably just a gateway opener.
Yeah, I would imagine a gateway opener is. I mean, this map isn't exactly the most difficult of maps to actually wall off on. Even if you need to emergency wall using your own Nexus, it's not that hard to do even that. So.
Oh, this was actually the last game as well. So both teams were 4-4 waiting for this result to come in.
That's intense. Oh yeah, because I knew, because when I... Yeah.
You know.
I remember that now. I remember that being... Not that this was the last one, but I knew it was one of the last 3. So that was a thing. One of the last 2 that got played. I did not realize this was actually the last match of the week for them as well. So that's pretty cool. So that's a lot of pressure on both of these players. I mean... It's different than playing live, but it still has a little idiosyncrasies about the game where you're a little bit worried about it. You don't want to let your team down. You don't want to end your season on a low note, especially for a player who's kind of newer to Para OP, I think, and then to someone who's really, really well known in the league, doesn't want to make himself look bad. So important matches for both players here.
Oh my god, one hit point for the win with a blind 3-hatch before pool, and Drumhead, it's a reasonable risk to take if you've done a little bit of research into your opponent and you don't think that they're likely to cannon rush in a match like this. And we do see that Drumhead has also gone for the fairly reasonable response himself. He did build the gas geyser, but with the probe scout, he decided, I'm not going to mine from this gas because you've gone hatch first, and he went for his own nexus on around 17 supply, then opting for another pylon and the core and mining gas later. So it's not a massive lead for one hit point. Drumhead's got a nice adaptation to his build here.
Yeah, it's just a good scout out of our Protoss player. It's one of those things that you see at this level of play, where people know how to react a little bit better and know how to change their build up a little bit, just to make sure they can not fall far behind. Because I mean, if Drumhead just lets this go and doesn't do anything to counter what's happening to him, then he's instantly just a mile behind right now. I mean, right now, workers are even, but that's going to change really, really quickly. And actually, 28 of 30 of 46 supply right now for 1 HP, so I think he may have made an extra overlord at some point.
Yeah. He's not gonna have a massive amount of workers necessarily, but he will have a massive amount of lava. And I think he will probably opt for the massive amount of workers. He didn't go for the 3-hatch gas into pool. So any amount of defense is just going to be slowlings, spines, queens, spores, and drone pools. So yeah, you can still do like a massive link flood off of a 3-hatch before pool if you wanted, but that's not going to be the case. This game, we might even see this third queen drop a creep tumor, but that's not going to be the case. No, just triple inject straight off the bat, straight into the double gas in the natural. So